Alright, everybody. I mentioned this before, but ever since Elon Musk bought Twitter, things have just gotten worse and worse, almost at an exponential rate. So much so to the point that even a lot of normies and centrists are having to admit that Elon Musk's control of Twitter has only made it worse. But the evil has also become much more apparent in the right, since Twitter has basically destroyed any form of moderation that it has. One of the biggest examples of this are straight-up threats and calls to violence for trans people. As many of you guys might know, Elon Musk recently removed all TOS protections for trans people on Twitter. Like, there's no longer any rules against misgendering, harassing on the basis of their identity trans people, any of that stuff, dead naming. None of that is against the rules on Twitter anymore. That stuff has been removed from the TOS. It's no longer in there. Here's the thing, though. The right is basically using their new freedom of speech to glorify committing crimes. Allow me to show you guys a particularly evil example of this. So, this person, who I have blocked on Twitter for a very good reason, I imagine, posted these screenshots of an account called Miss Massacre, obviously a blue checkmark Elon Musk simp. This kid goes to school with my daughter. You can't see the kid in the picture, but we're talking about a kid who is trans that is in this picture this person has posted. This kid goes to school with my daughter. This is a boy. We live in Montana, which is extremely conservative. This stuff is infecting even the most rural of states. This is why I don't stop talking about the stuff like Dylan Mulvaney, because outrage is the only way to curb it. Straight up doxes this kid. No, like, blurring of the identity or anything. Straight up doxes this random child that just goes to school with her daughter. Because the kid's trans. I imagine a trans woman. Because, you know, the mom says this is a boy. Now that's pretty evil, but it goes on. The account says melter of snowflakes, pronouns fuck you, while they're literally like doxing a child because they're trans. Pretty, you know, in line with the type of shit the right says. It gets even worse though. This is the dumbest woman on the planet. She just agreed to do an interview with a person named Prank Stallone, whose pinned tweet is a video fucking with people like her. Oh, this is good. So this is the tweet. And then this person DM'd her, "Hey, want to do an interview on my show? I'm a fellow conservative and very anti-woke." Lol, my inbox is full of hate today, so your message was very nice to receive. What show do you have? I'm happy for you. Oh my god, how can you be... I guess transphobes are this stupid. It's not that surprising, I suppose. But it gets even worse, right? Obviously, this tweet, or this screenshot censors the kid that this woman is doxing in the photo. But below there, this lady replies, "Is he allowed to go in the restroom with your daughter?" And Miss Massacre says, "Hell no, lol. That boy would be walking even funnier." So now fantasizing about assaulting trans children. Not even her own child, by the way. Just some random trans kid that was walking in the parking lot at the school that she snapped a photo of the dox and post a fantasy about assaulting. They truly care about the kids. They truly care about the kids. Remember, guys, I keep saying it over and over again, but for some reason, people keep thinking I'm going out of line by saying it. Conservatives see cruelty towards minorities as a virtue. Cruelty towards minorities and their allies, just the entirety of the left, is a virtuous act for conservatives. There's nothing more virtuous, more heroic you can do than to upset or trigger a minority. They're psychotic and principally evil. Elon Musk buying Twitter has only facilitated their evil becoming more mainstream, more accepted, or at least seemingly accepted, and more blatant and obvious to everyone. Now everybody sees it. It's platformed much more heavily. Basically, when you go on Twitter and you look at your For You timeline, like 90% of the tweets that have come up are going to be like Nazi propaganda tweets with thousands of likes, tens of thousands of likes sometimes. Like, one account that pops up a lot is literally just an account that features black people committing crime. That's it. That's literally all the account does. Explicitly, that's all it does. And the taglines will usually be like a racist comment. Tens of thousands of likes. And pushed heavily on the For You page because they've got a blue check mark. This is a big reason why a lot of people believe in the block the blue thing. As much as I don't agree with it, because so many artists and whatnot require the blue check mark to, you know, make a living, because they use Twitter as the platform to make a living on, I can understand why so many people would feel the need to block all blue check marks as an umbrella, because it would basically eliminate 99.9% of the harassment based on race, sex, basically any form of identity they get on a daily basis. The blue check mark is basically a badge that like warns you before even reading the tweet you're gonna see a bad take at this point. Unless you know the person and they're like an established figure you know. Like, there's a few friends I have that have the blue check mark and I know them, but fuck. The block the blue thing, that thing that like blocks all the blue check marks, really tempting. It would make my timeline a lot more pleasant. Anyway, it gets even worse. Who would have thought it gets worse? The account who posted this tweet has me blocked, so I had to open this link in a private window in Opera GX, but here we go. I edited out the child in the image because maybe people shouldn't be posting creep shots of children so that other people can fantasize about child rape. And here's the image. A reply that says, nah, put him in jail and have Bubba on him for one night. He will change his mind. It is absolutely no coincidence whatsoever that the vast majority of transphobes, from as far as we can tell, are in fact pedophiles. The pedocon theory proves itself true constantly over and over again. It has never proven itself wrong. Let's just say this. The pedocon theory has only ever been proven true. It has never been proven false. Frankly, it shouldn't even be pedocon theory at this point. It should be pedocon law. The law of pedocon. For those that don't know what that means, it's basically that, like, a really disproportionate amount of conservatives end up being pedophiles and child rapists, but a very common conservative talking point is that the left and trans people are actually the child groomers, so it's like a very blatant, instance of projecting, you know? It's a theory, like the theory of gravity. Yeah, but, you know, I'm doing the meme. I get what you mean. Hey, Lexander, welcome to the stream, though. It's good to have you here. Yeah, we should play the clip of Matt Walsh saying that he violates his kids' consent all the time. Like, I want to be completely clear here, by the way. The conservative household. Imagine the stereotypical conservative household. Abusive husband, children who are basically treated like property and chore slaves, and talked down to constantly and subjected to, you know, rigorous punishment and strictness. The wife who's basically treated like a broodmare, who's forced to cater to the husband's every whim. The husband who probably cheats and just does whatever the fuck he wants and acts like a fat, lazy slob. This is the vast majority of, like, the stereotypical conservative household, right? That is a miniature model of what the right wants to instill in the entire country. That is how they want the country to be run. A highly patriarchal, extremely traditionally conservative, abusive, fascistic society that is basically a larger version of your average conservative household, where one man is at the top calling all the shots. The reason why they promote the like nuclear family so much is because it softens people up to the extremely strict, rigorous governmental structure the right wants to implement if and possibly when they win. Remember, if the left wins, like, a left-wing society can tolerate some conservatives out in the countryside hating, like, minorities and whatnot privately off, you know, in their own private property and their own private venues. The thing is, if the right takes control, they can't allow minorities to exist, period. That's the big difference. Conservatives get to live if the left wins. Lefties don't get to live if the right wins. That is why it is not an equal, like, centrist, both sides are equally bad situation. Because one side is fighting to kill, and the other side is fighting to preserve life. There is no dispute about this. The right will say, oh, but we're against abortion, and yet they openly call for abortion to be banned in cases where the woman's life will literally die and the fetus is inviable. It's not about preserving life. They're lying, pathetic, disgusting, greasy grifters. They're demonic. They are pure evil. I didn't used to think evil existed, but then, I grew up on the internet. And oh, believe me, humans can be evil. And these people are evil. Do not mistake what I'm saying as hyperbole.